Okay, welcome to another Orbiter 2010 video. In the last video, I was here with the Aero freighter. We were about 30 or so days out from Jupiter. So we finished warping time forward to get over to Jupiter. We did a bit of a mid-course correction in the last video, and then we finished warping time forward to get over here to Jupiter. And our target moon around Jupiter this time is going to be Ganymede. At the end of the last video, I set up the Transx maneuver to do the braking burn at Ganymede, but we ran out of time to actually complete that braking burn, so I'm just picking up right where I left off. We're 31,000 seconds away from reaching periapsis at Ganymede, and that's the time when we will do our braking burn. So let's go ahead and finish things up here. Let's bring up Orbit MFD. Let's target Ganymede, or let's reference Ganymede rather, and just see how things are looking. Okay, so we're a bit out yet, so let's warp time forward. Let's get closer to the time to begin the burn. Let's take it easy because we only have 30,000 seconds to go. That's not very much. So we'll go to 1,000 here. You can see Ganymede closing in on us, or us closing in on Ganymede, whichever way you want to look at it. And let's go back inside, see how things are looking. We're 10,000 seconds out. All right, let's go back to real time for a moment. And let's update some stuff here. Bring up Transx also on that side and view the encounter. Actually, we can't view the encounter. Perhaps if I bring up this instance of Transx, and on this side, turn maneuver mode off and go to view setup and select no target. Now go forward to reset that stage 2 on this instance of Transx. Now reselect Ganymede. And now this instance of Transx is just completely crashed. I don't know why that happens sometimes. Weird. There's a way to fix it. You have to basically quick save, basically turn off Transx completely, reset everything, and then power down this side, basically do a quick save, then reopen Orbiter, and when you reopen Orbiter, it will have reset that instance of Transx, but for now, this instance is totally crashed. I can't use it. So just come to here and select none, and then that's it for that one. Okay, so back to view target. We're 7,000 seconds out. Let's get in a bit closer. We're now down to 4,000 seconds, a couple thousand seconds. Looks like we may have just entered the gravitational influence, because I just saw Transx kind of do a little bit of a stage update there, it looked like. Okay, now I think I might be able to reference, I might be able to get the base information. Let's target Ganymede Base. No, I'm still not getting the base information here. I'd like to set that up because I'd like to know what inclination I'm going to have. Okay, here I'm coming into Ganymede, and I'm very equatorial, so it's going to be a large plane change maneuver. So before we do the braking burn, which is still a couple thousand seconds away, let's reset maneuver mode. And let's do this. Let's go to cruise plan and let's set it to through point. Now we should get the encounter. Now we have the encounter.
Translation.
Okay, now let's bring up Orbit MFD over here and let's copy the HUD information to, so we have Orbit Ganymede.
Rotation.
Let's get rotated. Okay, so right now we're facing exactly retrograde.
Translation.
And with up translation, we're bringing the off-plane distance down. So if we rotate
Rotation.
plus 90, in other words, if we rotate orbit plus, so then we should be able to bring down the off-base distance. Then we'll set up the braking burn. Okay, we're almost to plus 90. And there it is. And let me actually go to let me go to this view for a moment. Yep. Because I can see this better. This cross position, I can see it better in this view. Okay, now just engage the main engines a little bit here at first. Make sure we're doing the right thing. And it looks like we are. And I don't know how much of a burn this is going to require, so we're just going to go full power on the main.
Translation. Rotation.
And we'll have to do a bit of rotation to keep up with the make sure that we're always facing 90. This is quite a large burn, really. Should have set this up sooner because it wouldn't require as much delta V. This is pretty large, all things considered. I've been burning for several seconds now. This must be like 1,000 meters a second or something. And I've still got 1,000 meters to go. Off-base distance is now 900 kilometers. Wow, yeah, it's a very large burn. Oops, I'm losing track of the position there at 90. If that drops below 0, I'm going to lose my information on. Okay, we're there. Oops, overshot that. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, off-plane distance to the base is now 1 kilometer. So let's hope that holds pretty well. Now, back to view setup. Actually, never mind. We don't need to reset that because now that we're close enough to Ganymede, we don't have to worry about we don't have the case where transx won't give us maneuver mode. Now is what I'm trying to say. So view over to maneuver mode on. And we're doing the burn at that number, so enter 58153.5696. And again, it's going to be 5,000 something for the braking. Let's see if we can zoom in on that anymore. No, can't get any closer. Okay, view over to here. I'm going to watch the hypothetical PED. And it's starting to count down, so I guess that's all the braking that we need. Okay, I think we're ready to proceed. Let's warp time forward. Okay, we're just 900 seconds out. Let's bring up orbit. Okay, we do have Ganymede now is the strongest source of gravity, as indicated here, 0.57, but let's hit AR to auto reference just to make sure, and it is. HUD to copy the information to the HUD. And let's go retrograde. And that'll take a bit for the ship to settle into the retrograde position. So while it's doing that, we'll go to view maneuver and we'll do an update. Off plane distance is showing 1 kilometer, so in theory we should be lined up with the base. And we're basically retrograde. Let's check our oxygen. I haven't looked at that in a while. Okay, we're 1 year. It's fine. Okay, view over to target. And warp time forward here a bit. And I'm going to do this burn manually rather than putting that number into burn time calculator because I need to be able to adjust the yaw position as needed. Warp time forward just a little bit faster. Get closer to the time to do the burn. We're almost there. So one last time, view over to maneuver and do an update. Okay, view target. Now let's think about what we have to do. All right, let's bring up orbit MFD on this side so we can just watch how things go. Projection is ship, distance is PEA APA, and frame doesn't so much matter, but we'll keep it on EQU. All right, turn retrograde off. And take a look outside. I do have a texture upgrade for Ganymede, so this looks better than the default. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description down below. It's basically just an orbit hangar. Do a search for Ganymede, and I believe this is like level 12 textures or something. Okay, let's get rotated.
Translate rotation.
Now during this burn, we just have to watch our PEA to make sure that it doesn't really go any lower, because that's just 8 kilometers. If we're not careful, we'll drive ourselves right into the ground. Europa over there. Okay, let's warp time forward, get to the time to begin the burn.
Translation, rotation.
And burning in 3, 2, 1. And burning. Keeping an eye on the PEA.
Translation, rotation.
And while that's burning, I'm also going to bring up transects on this side just to kind of watch that off-plane distance a bit. Make sure that it doesn't increase. Looks like maybe if I put in a bit of down... Yeah, well, we need to... For now, we just need to keep the X centered. You see the off-plane distance is increasing slightly, but we're only at 1 kilometer out, so that's hardly anything. In fact, we could bring up ComNav while this is happening and target the base, spaceport, Ganymede Base. And this will be identical to Brighton Beach because I just copied Brighton Beach. It's going to be 1:16:30 and 1:32:20. We'll just go with number 1. And then we're not going to land on the landing pad, obviously. The airfreighter is too big for that. But we'll put in the frequency of that pad anyway, and we'll try to land, 30 meters or 50 meters outside of the landing pad. Okay, so that should be set up. 1:16:30, double check. 1:32:20, good. Alright, now back to transects on this side. Looks okay. Let's bring up orbit MFD, make sure that, okay, gotta watch our PEA. Let's get that X lower. I'm just moving the X slightly off center because that will keep the PEA from going down. Move it out a little bit more. Let the PEA climb a little bit. We were at 7 point something, so I'm fine with letting it climb a little more. Let's bring up transects over here, watch our off-plane distance. Now, I should be able to... Well, I can't really get a good call on the off-plane distance with maneuver mode on. So let me see if this version will have yet... It's still crashed, okay. Alright, let me bring up orbit MFD. PEA is still looking good, or is looking good. Let me recenter the X here.
Translate rotation.
Still have 2,000 meters a second to go. I know one thing I could do on this side. I can bring up base sync MFD, target Ganymede Base, although I won't have the information I need until we're captured. So back to orbit MFD, watch the PEA, looks good. We're now just under 2,000 meters a second left on this burn. Go ahead and time warp it just a little bit here, gotta be careful. PEA still good. We're about 7.5 kilometers, a little less. About 1 kilometer per second left on the burn. Go ahead and time warp just a little bit. Okay, we're almost captured. And we're captured. Yeah, that's not going to be reliable enough until we're much lower here. Actually, let me make sure I watch orbit MFD. Okay, PEA is starting to increase rapidly. Let's get that X centered better. Just 100 meters a second left to go on the burn. Okay, let's see how things are looking. According to Transx, the burn's over, but we obviously still have to bring our APA down a bit more. We do this too. Let's go retrograde now. Okay, I have to turn retrograde off.
Translation rotation.
And since we're past periapsis, we need to be rotated in a little bit in order to keep our PEA from going down. Just doing a little bit more circularization here. ECC coming down. Okay, I tell you what, one thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to use IMFD's circularization program because it's really good. It's one of the few things I do know how to do with this MFD. Of course, it's so simple that circular auto burn. Okay, and yeah, it does a really good job of that.
Translation rotation.
Okay, we now have a circular orbit around Ganymede. Let's turn maneuver mode off over here, even though we're basically done with Transx. And let's bring up map MFD. Okay, our base alignment looks good. We're 8,000 kilometers out. We're probably basically halfway around. Let's count the number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're basically halfway around. We could do the deorbit burn now, but we're at 25 minutes on this video, so let's go ahead then and let's just pause thing. Let's do Control S. We'll save it here. Pause the video, and we'll pick it up in the next part, which will probably be the last part of this series, because all we have left to do is deorbit and land, and I imagine we can do that within 30 minutes easily enough. So if you like this part of the video, go ahead and hit that like button, please. And if you didn't like it, let me know. Hit the thumbs down. I can take it. If you like my content overall and you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified when I upload new orbiter videos. I try to keep a schedule of at least one new video per week. I've done very well keeping that schedule for over a year. If I have more content available, I do 2 videos, sometimes as many as 3, but generally the base target is just 1 video a week. I also have a Facebook page. You can get the link for that in the description down below. I post all my content on Facebook, all my videos there. And I also post other things that you can't see here on YouTube, because obviously YouTube's just for videos. But I post articles, pictures, and other things, again, that you just don't get to see here on YouTube. So check that out too if you're interested. And I will see you in the next part.